Breastfeeding is the most natural and essential part of motherhood, yet it is shrouded in a lot of stigma and taboo. In fact, women face a lot of harassment, a lot of discomfort when it is done in public. Today, let's try and break this stigma for our viewers on the special Women's Day segment. We're joined by two guests on the show. We have Monica Sood as well as Sunanda Banerjee. Monica Sood is founder and CEO of Navjeevan Healthcare Center, and Sunanda Banerjee is founder of Co-Emerge. I'll go across to Ms. Sood first. Dr. Sood, there is a lot of stigma around breastfeeding in public. How can we as a society work towards normalizing it? And from a medical perspective, how important is it for a mother to be able to breastfeed freely without any sort of restrictions?
Good morning, everyone. So this is a very important topic which you have chosen today, as nobody speaks much about this. Though there has been verdict yesterday, what we underwent, the Supreme Court has made a ruling that people, those who are not having these kind of centers or these kind of pods or areas for the breastfeeding of females should be, now it should be mandatory that they should open this, they should place it somewhere that the females should feel safe. But as far as you're talking about through the medical perspective and the stigma which we are carrying here, is that it's been from ages. The stigma of, breastfeeding in public place or in front of people is very challenging for every woman. See, it is her privacy which she has to maintain. It is her own time with her child, with the way she feeds her child. There are different perspectives to it. A woman has many issues while feeding a child, especially while breastfeeding. She can have, many issues physically. She can have sore breasts, or she has some, pain, or the child might occur some pain during that process. Generally, the mothers breastfeed between the age group of 1 to 6 months, or further they breastfeed the children till 1 year. So during this time, if I talk about the first initial stages of, right from the birth till the 6 months of child's age, this is a very important and time when a mother's bond is being created between a child and herself. Secondly, breastfeeding is one thing which, of course, brings health to a child. This is a worldwide concept, and medically, of course, our mother's milk is best for the child's health. So while keeping all these things in mind, it's a very nice verdict which has come up from Supreme Court that these kind of areas should be maintained and placed. Especially, I would say that when it comes to the newly constructed buildings or the buildings which are under construction, they must have this kind of spaces for women. Not only the room, it should also have, specifically in urban areas. Right now, I'm talking about the tier 1 and tier 2 cities where the mothers are always 90% of women are working, and in different sections and different classes of society. So as far as if a woman is working in a corporate sector, she should have a proper maintained area with the small pods or cabins where a woman can, of course, breastfeed her child as per her own way. And if she's having any challenges, then those should also be taken care. The kind of seating, the kind of chairs, the sofas, or anything which has to be taken care of while a mother who is breastfeeding is very much necessary. Now, if I come to the second point on the same, that what about the tier 2 cities, or what about the rural areas? See, in tier 2 cities or tier 3 cities or rural areas, still there will be a less corporate culture, and these things are not maintained very well and not even taken up in till now.
Right. A lot of support required is what Dr. Sood is telling us. Dr. Sood, I'll just come back to you. Let me also get in a word from Sunanda Banerjee. Ms. Banerjee, you run an organization. You're a mother yourself. Tell us, how can workplaces and public spaces become more breastfeeding friendly? And what kind of culture can be created in workplaces to ensure mothers are supported and not really sidelined?
Thank you, Radhika, for that, and absolutely thank you for bringing me on this platform. It's absolutely amazing the timing of this verdict that has come, especially for workplaces. See, I believe policies, structures, processes have a huge role to play, but eventually become the foundation. What starts mattering is the thought process, the culture, the mindset of people. So I'll give you an example. When we see, and it's so common out there, and I have no shame in saying this out there here, when we see men peeing in public, we really ignore that. But when you see a woman who's breastfeeding in public, we squirm at that sight. That's the irony. That's where it starts. So it's about the mindset, the thought process of not eventually what it has become is a more sexualized version rather than a nurturing version that breastfeeding is. So, especially first foremost, conversation should start where it has to normalize. So you see, yesterday L&T has allowed 1 day of period leave for the workplaces. So period leaves is a classic example of how things are changing. And so on and so forth, that feeding room at workplaces become an amazing, again, step ahead. You would also notice that it's related to women workforce retention, loyalty, and lesser absenteeism that would help if women are allowed this space. At workplace where a mother who's just after 3 months, 4 months of her maternity leave that who's back would be constantly worried about the child's feeding cycle. Not all mothers are either equipped or have the support system at home to manage, let's say, pumping and then feeding the child regularly. So the amount of relaxation and peace of mind that an organization or workplace can bring by enabling this would be immense. You see these classic examples of Jacinda Ardern, Prime Minister of New Zealand, who brings her newborn baby to Parliament, or another Italian MP who was seen feeding the child in the Parliament. So these women are breaking those barriers, right, those glass ceiling of not being able to do that. So I think these are classic idealistic example setting, right, that we can start following.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Sood, as well as Dr. Banerjee, for joining us on this important discussion.